My name is Tahira Christine Safavi, and I love being a clown. My journey began in 2002 when I was cast in a Commedia dell'arte troupe at the Bristol Renaissance Fair. I didn't even identify as female at the time, but they saw Columbina in me and taught me, posture by posture, how to bring her out. I was also involved with a late night short form improv troupe in Chicago called Low Sodium Entertainment. So my background is deeply ensemble based and 100% improvised. From Whose Line Is It Anyway style games to classic 30-minute scenarios on a main stage, playing 7 times a day, to the full day interactive theater with a single 10-hour story arc that is the main plot of the show at Bristol. Much of it was physical slapsticks, pratfalls, silly walks, and all the OG Lotzi. I enjoy playing men's masks as well. I've guested as Capitano, Brigela, Arle, and the other male Zani, but at my core, I am a sexy clown, a Columbina, and sometimes her older form Francescina, or as I like to call her, Columbina the MILF. I've collaboratively written commedia shows with several different companies and have the most directorial influence with the Bristol Girls, an all female ensemble I like to call the slightly more Del Art version of Six. When I moved to New York in 2015, I was lucky enough to create several evening length productions with Cirque de Nuit, a company which brought circus and interactive theater to on premise events around the tri states, most notably for the event producer You Are So Lucky and the Leila Goren Group. Unlike my earlier work, Cirque de Nuit shows were exclusively nonverbal and distinctly ethereal, focused on bringing out the deepest and most spiritual reactions from our audience. We used 100% classic clown technique, but people don't realize that's what it is when you're dressed like some kind of fairy. New York doesn't have a lot of interactive theater folks, so when we were asked to bring 100 performers for a very large event that was later written up in Vogue magazine, we cast a bunch of straight actors with some movement background or dancers with some interest in theater, and I put them, 10 at a time, through a sort of fairy clown boot camp in my tiny apartment in East Harlem. The premise of the show was a Midsummer's Night Dream done in the interactive, nonverbal style of Sleep No More, all over the grounds of a colonial mansion upstate, complete with abandoned schoolhouse on the property. I taught them everything from safety protocols for drunk patrons who were still short of meriting a Hey Rube, and how to hold space for audience members who started crying and confessing their deepest regrets. That happened. A lot. When you crack your heart open and share it with the audience, your fellow human beings will share back. After that, I wrote and originated a version of Tweedledee that was unabashedly Pedrolino for the Mad Hatter's Gin and Tea Party, an interactive show that ran as a pop-up for 3 months on 42nd Street and was exactly what it said on the tin. In 2025, I was lucky enough to teach a pre-professional Del Arte course for Circus Academy New York. There is nothing funnier to me than blowing up very serious advanced trapeze students with a fart noise or an awooga. I was very lucky in that my students were all either working actors or circus professionals from other disciplines. I was able to ask the moon of them, and they delivered. After an 8-week intensive, it culminated in the first Academy Circus show. I wrote and directed 5 separate scenarios, alternating with the aerial acts that together made up an evening-length plot arc for the full company. It all culminated in a scene where the clowns finally showed their mettle in the worst way possible by stealing the flying trapeze rig and putting on their own fly act. Who I am as a clown and theater maker is simple: an improv kid who never grew up. A proscenium is too much distance. I want to play with you. I want to play with the audience. And I want us all to feel all the things. I want us to experience both joy and sadness together. I seek to give catharsis. Life is short and brutal, and the least we can do is try our best to be kind.